Coronation Street fans, buckle up! Next week is packed with shocking twists, emotional showdowns, and jaw-dropping betrayals. From Dee-Dee facing a life-changing decision about her baby, to Daisy teaming up with Christina for a brutal revenge plot, things are about to get messy. But that's not all. A dangerous feud spirals out of control when Debbie is found lying unconscious in the ginnel. Who's responsible? And will she survive? Stay tuned as we break down 13 huge Coronation Street spoilers for next week, March 31st to April 4th, 2025. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss a single update. Now, let's get into it. 1. Dee-Dee's pains are downplayed. It's a big day on Coronation Street as Frankie's stem cell transplant is finally happening, and Dee-Dee is right there at the hospital supporting Lauren. But just when Dee-Dee thinks it's all about Frankie, she suddenly starts feeling pains. The midwife checks her over and tells her to head home and get some rest. Taking the advice, Dee-Dee goes back to the flat. But that's when things take a dramatic turn. Her waters suddenly break. Panicked, she's rushed straight back to the hospital, struggling with the pain. Ed does his best to get her some help, but things take a shocking twist when a midwife makes an inappropriate comment, leaving Ed and Alia completely stunned. 2. Dee-Dee receives bad news. Things take a serious turn for Dee-Dee when the doctor tells her she's got preeclampsia and the baby needs to be delivered immediately. After the birth, her family finally gets the good news. They're allowed to see her. Relief fills the room, but just when things seem to settle, James suggests naming the baby Layla, and Dee-Dee's reaction says it all. She's clearly upset. Later, when she's alone with Ed, she breaks down and reveals the heartbreaking truth. She had to have an emergency hysterectomy and won't be able to have any more children. 3. Dee-Dee makes a huge decision about her future. Ed begs Dee-Dee to really think about her decision before giving up Layla. He knows this isn't easy, and after hearing her news, James starts to wonder if she might change her mind. So, he waits, hoping she'll come to a decision. Meanwhile, Lauren pops in to see Dee-Dee with some good news. Frankie's operation was a success. But instead of the reaction she expected, Dee-Dee's response leaves her completely shocked. Later, just as Dee-Dee finally makes up her mind, James gets a text that throws everything into chaos. 4. Alia offers to help Dee-Dee get justice. Dee-Dee gets ready to leave the hospital, but she's caught off guard when Ed turns up, with Layla in his arms. She's even more shocked when he explains why he's the one looking after her. Later on, Alia and Sarah pop round to see Dee-Dee, and she opens up about the awful time she had at the hospital. Hearing what happened, Alia wastes no time and offers to help her file a formal complaint for gross negligence. 5. Daisy struggles to forgive Jenny. After the terrifying scare with Bertie nearly drowning, Daisy turns to Daniel and insists that Jenny has gone way too far this time. Meanwhile, Daisy puts on a good act, pretending to be shocked when Christina suddenly turns up at the Rovers, and it doesn't take long for her to start making her presence known. Later, Jenny tries to make amends with Daisy, but Daisy doesn't hold back. She admits she's not sure she can ever forgive Jenny for the things she said. 6. Daisy and Christina catfish. Jenny can't wait to tell everyone about Dom, a new guy she's been chatting to on a dating app, completely unaware that it's all a setup by Daisy and Christina. Loving how well their plan is going, the two even send Jenny a delivery of flowers to keep the act up. But as they keep reeling her in, Daisy starts to panic. What if Jenny wants to meet Dom in person? 7. Debbie has another clash with Mick. Debbie offers to look after Alfie, so Kevin can finally get some rest. But any chance of peace is ruined when loud music starts blasting from Mick's house. Then things take a worrying turn. Ronnie turns up and is shocked to find Alfie alone in the living room, with the back door wide open. Moments later, he steps outside and makes a shocking discovery. Debbie, lying in the ginnel, dazed and confused. But the big question is, did Mick have something to do with this? 8. Ronnie gets revenge on Mick. Mick isn't letting this one slide and keeps winding Ronnie up, pushing all the right buttons to get a reaction. And, well, it works. Ronnie loses his cool and, in a moment of pure frustration, takes a knife to one of the tyres on Mick's van. He thinks he's got away with it, but what he doesn't realise is that Debbie's been watching the whole thing unfold. Before Ronnie can even think about covering his tracks, Mick comes storming over, smug as anything. Turns out he's got proof, caught the whole thing on camera. Now he's not just looking for an apology. He wants paying for the damage. Ronnie thought he was getting one over on Mick, but it looks like he's just landed himself in even more trouble. 9. Kevin and Tyrone clash over their kids. Kevin's fuming when he finds out Jack's been scrapping at school and wastes no time laying down the law. No end-of-term party, no discussion. But while sitting through his chemo session, he starts to second-guess himself. Chatting with Abby, he admits he might have gone a bit too far. Maybe he was too quick to punish Jack without hearing him out properly. Meanwhile, Jack's not exactly sitting at home feeling sorry for himself. Instead, he and Hope go all out, splashing Kevin's credit card on 2 e-scooters and cracking open a bottle of booze Hope had stashed away. But their little adventure doesn't last long before Craig and Jess catch them in the act, just as Kevin and Tyrone show up. And, of course, that's when things really kick off. With both lads fuming, it quickly turns into a shouting match over whose kid's the bad influence. Safe to say, this isn't getting settled anytime soon. 10. Theo gives Todd mixed signals. Theo turns up at number 11 to meet Todd, but it's obvious he's feeling a bit on edge. He apologises for keeping things quiet, and after a few drinks, he starts to loosen up. As the night goes on, Theo opens up about his feelings for Todd, and one thing leads to another. The two share a kiss and end up spending the afternoon together. But just as quickly as things heated up, Theo's mood shifts. He admits his life's a bit of a mess, and before Todd can get a word in, he bolts out the back door as soon as he hears George, Eileen and Julie coming in. Later, Todd's left gutted when Theo tells him that what happened between them was just a one-off. 11. Chesney grows wary of Mick Gemma, and Chesney are buzzing when Mick and Lou offer them their old telly and let them borrow their roof box for their big trip with the kids. It all seems like a right result, until Ronnie clocks what's going on and pulls Chesney aside, warning him that Mick isn't as nice as he makes out. After that, Chesney starts having second thoughts about their new mates, but before he can figure out what to do, Mick invites him for a drink. Now, he's stuck. He doesn't want to go, but saying no might make things worse. When they finally meet at the Rovers, Chesney does his best to keep his nerves in check. But just when he and Gemma think they've got a quiet night in, there's a knock at the door. Mick and Lou, grinning, arms full of beers and snacks. Looks like they're in deeper than they thought. 12. Kevin and Julie bond. When Alfie falls ill at nursery, Abby has no choice but to rush off, leaving Kevin to face his chemo session alone. Outside the hospital, Julie spots Kevin and instantly picks up on how uneasy he is. Seeing he could do with a bit of support, she offers to travel back with him, and Kevin is genuinely touched by the gesture. Meanwhile, Abby's trying to get hold of Kevin, but keeps hitting a dead end. When she finally finds out he was with Julie the whole time and never mentioned it, she's not happy. At all. 13. Steve is caught out by Cassie opens up to Evelyn, laying her feelings bare about Steve. She's not just got a crush, she's properly fallen for him. But the worst part? He's made it crystal clear he wants nothing to do with her. No mixed signals, no hope, just a cold shutdown. It stings, and Cassie's struggling to shake it off. Evelyn listens, offering the best advice she can, but there's only so much anyone can say when the person you're pining for has already slammed the door shut. Meanwhile, Steve's having regrets of his own and doesn't hold back when talking to Amy. He admits that getting back involved with Cassie was a massive mistake. He should have known better, and now he feels like a right idiot for letting it happen again. But what he doesn't realise is that Cassie's within earshot. And the second she hears those words, any sadness she was feeling turns into pure fury. And there you have it, 13 huge spoilers that are set to shake up Coronation Street next week. With heartbreak, betrayals, and feuds reaching boiling point, there's plenty of drama coming our way. Will Dee-Dee change her mind? Can Chesney escape Mick's grip? And how will Cassie react now she knows the truth about Steve? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. What are you most excited for? And don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update on all the latest Corrie drama. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.